Well, hello everybody. It's Brother Todd with your Victory Minute. I hope you guys are having a good day. Standing outside here on a little cloudy morning trying to get this Victory Minute done. They're real busy in there in the office, and I make so much racket when I do this. I didn't want to mess them up too bad. Something happened today that made me think about doing this minute with you, and it was something I caught myself in process of. So, of course, I keep up with what's going on with the COVID-19, Dallas County, Kaufman County, Ellis County, Van Zant County, Hunt County, Rockwall County, Henderson County, you name it. We keep up with what's going on here around as we're looking at, opening back up on July the 11th and 12th. And don't worry, anything I'm about to tell you right now, I ain't going to change that right now. But I pull up the Texas COVID dashboard, and Kaufman, on a bad day, they'd have 12, 15, maybe new cases a day. Yesterday had 116. I pull over Ellis County, yesterday 145. I thought, wow, what's happening? I mean, we know the whole state's last 10 days, it's COVID-19 is going up through the roof. I mean, way more cases than what we've ever seen, had, and that kind of thing. And so I caught myself working through a process. And it's that process that I want to talk to you about today. Don't get bogged down or worried about what's going to happen on the 11th or 12th. I said from the get-go, we'd get together, and the leaders would all get together around the end of the month, and we'd really look at things where they are, and we're not going to make, and again, there's nothing happening right now that's going to make me change that decision. We'll just we'll get there when we get there, and God will walk us through things when we need to get there. But I did catch myself working through a process that I use, and it's the process that I thought might be helpful to those of you that watch the Victory Minute. And that's, what do you do when you got something going on? Maybe it's a relationship, and you start having doubts, or maybe it's something in business, and you start having doubts, or it's something in ministry, and then you're like, whoa, what do I do? What process do I use? Well, I never wrote it down. It's just something I kind of had in my head. It's one of them things, do you really understand something if you can't explain it? But anyway, I was thinking about it, and I thought, how would I help somebody that's dealing with, okay, do I keep pursuing this relationship with this boyfriend, this girlfriend, this friendship, this track on business, what I'm doing in ministry? Sometimes you think, well, I need to change, it ain't working good, but you might be one step away from a miracle. What do you do? Sometimes it's the fork in the road that just wears us out. I don't know how many times I've prayed, God, just tell me which way. And the Lord, like, now you pick. And I'm like, Lord, no, I'm gonna make it easy for me, And but the Lord wants us to use wisdom. He wants us to use discernment. And a lot of times you got to realize there's areas God will walk you in life that, frankly, He'll bless you both ways. It's just, which one do you think you really want to do the most, and that kind of thing. Well, having said all that, I scribbled down 3 words that start with the letter C. All right, and the first word is course. When you're going away, and all of a sudden it starts getting cloudy, you're not really maybe sure. Okay, number 1. Keep your course unless something obviously happens to change it, okay? A lot of times I use this old saying, I don't want to doubt in the dark what God showed me in the light. And sometimes when you get out and the reality of getting a thing done, a vision is accomplished, the Bible says, through many steps. Well, one thing about many steps is they can make you tired. Okay, and so you start getting wore down. It's, you're not sure. You thought this person was going to help you. They've ended up kind of falling out. It doesn't really mean that the situation has changed, that what God wants you doing or what your heart was set on doing, or even in a relationship, it doesn't mean it's over. It just means maybe you're dealing with more of the reality of it. But if I don't have something that just jumps up and just completely stops me, I don't stop what I'm doing because I'm doubting it. If God gave it to me clearly, I'm going to keep that course until God in His infinite wisdom shows me something else. It's got to be something obvious. I cannot stop what I'm doing because of doubt. Sometimes our own hearts will deceive us. You can be in a relationship and you can talk yourself into that person not being genuine or true, or you're not sure, and second guess it. You're about to get married, and all of a sudden you're getting cold feet. Well, why are you getting cold feet? Are you just getting cold feet because you're scared? Well, you know, that's part of the thrill of love. That's part of the thrill of a relationship, you know. Being nervous, well, I'm nervous. I shouldn't be nervous. Well, why shouldn't you be nervous? You're making a life-altering choice. Lord help, every time I go buy a car or a truck, you know, it's that moment where you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this. I don't know if I want to do this or not. Well, has anything really changed that's kept you off course? It's like right now, okay? I'm not going to jump ship early on the plans we've got for July the 11th and 12th just because I saw one day that does not look very promising. You following me? Now, again, if it wasn't for the fact that I want y'all to pick up on this process, I wouldn't even have shared this with you today. I may later because I'd watch it, okay? Because it's not anything I've got to act on today, okay? And there's a part of me that knows some of y'all go to panicking about July the 11th just because I brought it up. Okay, but maybe this will help you too. You're going to go through things sometimes that are going to make you doubt, but you've got to hold course unless something obviously by God changes your direction, okay? Do not let fear never gets to be the changer because you got fear or faith, and you can only operate in one. And faith will run fear out or fear will run faith out. I don't care if it's in spiritual things. I don't care if it's in business. I don't care if it's in relationships. Y'all following me? You cannot operate on fear, okay? When I was a fireman, if my intention was to go into that door, then I'm going to go into that door. If something looks spooky, so what? All right? God put a hose full of water in my hand. I can go in there and put the fire out, all right? You can't give in to fear. You say, well, Brother Todd, fear is natural. Of course it is. God gave you fear to keep you alive, all right? Okay? Courage isn't the absence of fear. That's a psychopath. Okay, psychopaths have a delayed fear response. Courage is the ability to act even though you might be afraid or you're in a situation that could be fearful. Okay? You hold course unless something obvious changes it. Number 2, okay? I wrote down on my little paper here, watch the company you keep. First word, course. Second word, company. The more doubtful the situation, the more solid your relationships have to be. The more doubtful the situation, the more the company you keep has to be solid. Now, number 1, that means prayer. When you have doubts, you got to go to talking to God because God will walk you through a lot of cloudy days. He will walk you into and through a lot of situations that you would not walk into yourself, okay? And so you've got to be certain, and you get that from spending time with God, okay? If me and my wife are trying to make a decision or something's coming on, I'm trying to figure out what she wants. Okay, you can't just do this. Well, baby, you want to do that? Because a lot of times, you know, I don't want to sound like chauvinistic. I'm going to speak male chauvinist. I'm going to speak from a man's perspective. Sometimes girls will say, "Yeah, that's all right," when they mean anything but that's all right. All right, just word you boys out there. Okay, and if she ever says, "Yeah, that's fine," like that, it means it's anything but fine. Okay, most times you ask a girl if you got enough sense to go, something bothering you? Well, you've already picked up on something's bothering her. And if she goes, nah, ain't nothing bothering me, well, that's a lie. All right? So you better get to clearing. There's old brother Art Treehern going into the office. But anyhow, so you've got to spend more time. So what I'll do, like if Misty, I ain't sure about kind of where she's at, I don't get one word and leave. What I do, I spend more time with her. I spend more time with her. We spend more time talking about it. Sooner or later, you'll find out where things really are. You can find that out in prayer, okay? Whether, you know, because sometimes we go like, well, Brother Todd, I ain't sure if this is something God sent into my life to stop me, or is it something the devil sent into my life to tempt me to fear? Well, sometimes you got to walk through that. Well, I'm going to tell you what, the more time you spend with God, the more time you'll be sure of what His will for your life is. Now, the same principle is true in the company you keep, okay? You've got to, when you're facing maybe a doubtful situation or a change or something like that, let me tell you something, you can't have haters around you. You can't have doubters around you. You know, you can't listen to people that's always got a negative word. You can't listen to people that have proven in their life and in your life that, you know what they say don't always work out, okay? Because I'm going to tell you something, you got to watch what you let influence you, You got to watch what you let influence. You go, Brother Todd, I'm my own man. I don't let nothing influence me. That's a lie. That is a lie. We're all influenced, and we're all influenceable. If you don't believe that, why do they run commercials on TV? It's to influence you because you're watching it. You're spending time with it. You know, okay, I'm a night owl, all right? And the only reason I ever carry any extra weight, and the reason I carry the extra weight I'm carrying right now is because I eat late at night. What kind of commercials they run late at night? Food. 10 o'clock at night, all I'm looking at is Taco Bell and Betty Crocker commercials. Well, what do? I want snack. What's that? I'm being influenced. What am I doing? If I'm letting a voice into my head that may not necessarily be doing the best thing for me, it may be profitable for their company, but ain't the best thing for me. And a lot of times people will speak into your life things that's profitable to them, but not necessarily profitable to you. And I'm gonna tell you something. You gotta, the more focused, the more doubt you got, the more focused you gotta get about who is gonna influence your life. I'm gonna tell you what. When I'm battling with doubt, I won't even listen to nothing but Christian music. And I don't just listen to Christian music. I'll be the first one to admit it. I listen to some rhythm and blues, and I listen to some old school blues, and I listen to like some old country, you know. And you know, I don't get into them songs about I change the channel, somebody's singing about cheating on his wife and that kind of thing. But there's good and bad out there. You just got to have enough sense to discern it. But anyhow, and yeah, I'm a big Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. I can listen to B.B. King play guitar all day long. Those y'all's laughing about it. And George Strait, I guess they say he's still the king. But anyhow, so I just try to be transparent with you. But the more doubt I got, the more I focus in. I really watch what comes in my eye gate, and I watch what comes in my ear gate. When I got decisions to make and I'm really up on something, I want her to turn on TV set. If I got decisions to make, I need my Bible. I don't need a TV set. Making sense? I need to hear a sermon. I need to work through some things mentally. Get back, meditate. Watch the company you keep. Make sure you're praying. Make sure the people around you are people that got sense. And if you know your crazy uncle, you're thinking about making a relationship decision, and you sitting over there looking sad, and your uncle drifts over there and he's been married 3 times and about half drunk, you got no business listening to anything that man says. Yes, Jesus loves him. Jesus died for him, and he may do great things one day, but he's got no business giving you relationship advice. If you got kinfolks your mama's just got a negative spirit about her all the time, I'm gonna tell you something, baby, you have to reach up there and turn the knob off on mama. Mama don't get to talk to you right now. Is it making sense? Okay, bad company corrupts good manners. She'll throw you off direction, okay? You show me the 5 people you're hanging out with, and I'll tell you what you're like. And what you don't need is 5 people taking you the wrong way when something's making you doubt the right way, okay? Sorry to talk so long about it, but you've got to hold course. You got to watch your company, and then you got to look for real change. This will get you. This will get you. We get our head set on going a certain direction sometime, and then God allows or actually works himself, however he wants to do it. Something throws up a stop sign. You're absolutely convinced about a direction in a relationship. And maybe you hadn't changed, and maybe the good way hadn't changed, but maybe that person changes. Okay? You're absolutely convinced, baby, you found Mr. Right. Okay? And then you going on all these dates, and y'all having a good time, and you talking about the future, and he's going along with it. And then you see him flirting with the waitress. Well, honey, things just changed. Oh, it's not. Well, Brother Todd, you'd have to know him. No. He's a womanizer. Ain't no man talking to you about your future, flirting with another woman that's got a good intention. You say, but Brother Todd, you don't know him. I'm telling you, I know what he is. He's a snake. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. You get away from him as fast as you can. You hear me? He said, oh, Brother Todd, you just don't know. And his son's killing me here, all right? But just stay with me. You said, Brother Todd, you don't know. I'll tell you what I do know. I know you was headed down a path and something obviously changed, okay? You know, it's comes like sometime I'm absolutely sure. I remember I was in a airport one time, you know, and I was absolutely sure it was God's perfect will for me to have a Coke. I stroll over to the machine and they wanted $2.50 for the Coke. And I knew something changed. I knew I had misinterpreted the Lord's will. Now, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek here, but you following me? When something obviously changes, okay? Truth is, we got this plan going on with this COVID-19 situation right now, all right? Let's say Kaufman County for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 days goes to having 250, 300 new cases of COVID a day. We're not going to open up on July the 11th and 12th. That is something that is obvious. We've got into this thing to start with. We waited for what reason? Now, something has happened to my phone. Let me turn that thing off, see if we can fix it. I hope I didn't mess that recording up. Anyway, something like that's going to obviously change the situation. And you've got to be willing to let God show you something that's obvious. I've seen people get into relationships and every person that's good company to them come up there and tell them, don't get with that person. Listen, I saw that person do, oh, you didn't see that. Yes, I did. Don't matter that you've already decided you love him. He's got pretty eyes and he treats you nice, okay? If your best friend that ain't never lied to you starts going, I'm gonna tell you I don't like him. If all of a sudden your mom that ain't never been nothing but a good person to you starts telling you something, your friends, your kids, when did everybody around you become an idiot? Y'all hear me? Now you say, brother, you all up in my face, baby, girl, brother. You don't know how many times I have stood hollering on the sidelines and somebody is so bound and determined to do what they've already decided to do, they're going to do it, listen, no matter what else happens. And friend, that ain't wise. You gotta be willing to look at obvious change, all right? Right now, I'm praying about, me and old Brandon, we're praying about expanding our cattle business. I'm gonna tell you something, boys and girls. Cattle get down much lower. We ain't getting cow business. We're not gonna expand it for sure. Why? Wouldn't make sense. Wouldn't make sense. You've gotta be aware of what's actually happening. You gotta be aware of what's actually happening. You can't live in a dream world. You can get a vision from God and pursue it, and it comes through many steps. But you've got to be willing to let God gave you enough sense to do a lot of things that will make sense and will not hurt you. But boy, if you get something so stuck in your head that it's got to be, listen, your way. And if you will make your way God's will and the best thing and talk, listen, if you got to talk yourself into it, you got no business doing it. Hear me? All right, I've been talking too long. But here's what I'm going to say. If you right, well, no matter what it is in life, whether it's spiritual things, relationship things, business things, keep your course if the only thing you got is doubts, okay? Watch the company you keep getting narrower. Only good voices, the best voices, not just good, because like I was talking about music a while ago. But make sure there's times where you just focus in on best, not just good enough. And then make sure that if something obviously changes, that you're willing to change. You got to be wise, okay? Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. I love you. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.